Fact 25. Greenland is the world's largest island. Greenland covers 836,000 square miles, making it the world's largest island by far. Australia is classified as a continent, not an island, leaving Greenland in first place. The island is 3 times the size of Texas and larger than all of Western Europe combined. Despite its massive size, Greenland has a population of only 56,000 people, less than many small towns. Most of the island is uninhabitable ice sheet, with people concentrated in coastal settlements. Greenland's classification as an island rather than a continent is somewhat arbitrary, based on geological rather than size criteria. The island's sheer scale makes it a geographic giant that influences global weather patterns and ocean currents. Fact 24. Greenland's ice sheet is 2 miles thick. The Greenland ice sheet reaches maximum depths of over 10,000 feet, roughly 2 miles of solid ice. The ice sheet covers 80% of Greenland's land area and contains 10% of the world's fresh water. The weight of the ice depresses the bedrock beneath it, creating a bowl-shaped depression. In some areas, the bedrock sits below sea level due to ice weight compressing the land. The ice accumulated over hundreds of thousands of years, with the oldest ice at the bottom being over 100,000 years old. The ice sheet is so massive it creates its own weather patterns and influences atmospheric circulation. The sheer volume of ice represents a frozen ocean that would devastate coastlines worldwide if melted. Fact 23. If Greenland melts, sea levels rise 24 feet. The complete melting of Greenland's ice sheet would raise global sea levels by 7.4 meters, or approximately 24 feet. This would submerge coastal cities worldwide, displacing hundreds of millions of people. Miami, New York, London, Shanghai, and Mumbai would be largely underwater. Small island nations would disappear entirely beneath the rising seas. The melting wouldn't happen overnight, but current trends show Greenland losing ice at accelerating rates. Even partial melting of Greenland's ice threatens coastal infrastructure worldwide. Greenland's ice sheet is a geographic feature that holds the fate of every coastal city on Earth. Fact 22. Greenland is losing 280 billion tons of ice annually. Greenland's ice sheet loses approximately 280 billion metric tons of ice every year. This rate has accelerated dramatically over the past 2 decades as temperatures rise. The ice loss contributes about 0.8 millimeters to global sea level rise annually, accounting for roughly 25% of current rise. Some glaciers are thinning by several meters per year as warm ocean water melts them from below. The summer of 2019 saw record melting, with enough ice lost in a single day to cover Florida in 2 inches of water. The accelerating loss represents one of the most significant geographic changes happening on Earth right now. Greenland is transforming from a stable ice sheet to an active contributor to sea level rise. Fact 21. Greenland was actually green. During the medieval warm period around 1000 CE, southern Greenland was significantly warmer and supported Viking farming settlements. The Vikings raised cattle and sheep in areas now covered by ice or permafrost. Eric the Red named it Greenland, both as marketing and because coastal areas were relatively green. The Norse colonies lasted nearly 500 years before disappearing during the Little Ice Age. Archaeological evidence shows farms and churches in areas that are frozen today. Climate change is revealing Viking artifacts as glaciers retreat from areas they colonized. Greenland is returning to conditions that existed during its name's origin, proving the island has experienced dramatic climate swings throughout history. Fact 20. Greenland belongs to Denmark, but seeks independence. Greenland has been part of the Kingdom of Denmark since 1814, though indigenous Inuit have lived there for thousands of years. The island achieved home rule in 1979 and expanded self-government in 2009. Greenland controls most domestic affairs, but Denmark handles foreign policy and defense. The island receives substantial subsidies from Denmark, about $600 million annually, roughly half the government budget. Independence movements are growing as climate change makes mineral resources accessible. The melting ice is revealing valuable deposits of rare earth elements, zinc, and potentially oil. Greenland's path to independence is literally melting into view as ice exposes resources that could make the nation economically viable. Fact 19. The dark zone is making Greenland melt faster. The dark zone is a 400-mile strip of blackened ice on Greenland's western coast. The darkening results from dust, algae, and soot accumulating on the ice surface. Dark ice absorbs more sunlight than white ice, accelerating melting in a feedback loop. Algae blooming on the ice surface contributes to the darkening and feeds on the meltwater. The dark zone has expanded significantly over the past decade as summers warm. The darkened ice can melt 70% faster than clean white ice. The phenomenon demonstrates how small changes in ice color dramatically accelerate melting through reduced albedo. Fact 18. Greenland has a population density lower than Antarctica. Greenland averages just 0.14 people per square mile, one of the lowest population densities on Earth. Only the ice-free coastal areas are inhabited, concentrating people in tiny settlements. The capital Nuuk has about 18,000 people, nearly one-third of the entire population. Some settlements are accessible only by boat, helicopter, or dog sled with no roads connecting them. The extreme isolation and harsh climate limit population growth, despite the island's massive size. Greenland's population density is actually lower than research stations in Antarctica during winter. The island represents one of Earth's last frontiers, where vast territories remain essentially empty of human presence. Fact 17. Greenland's glaciers are calving massive icebergs. Jakobshavn Glacier in western Greenland is one of the fastest-moving glaciers on Earth. The glacier flows at speeds up to 150 feet per day, calving enormous icebergs into Disco Bay. The iceberg that sank the Titanic likely came from Greenland glaciers. Some icebergs calved from Greenland glaciers are the size of cities, measuring miles across. The Petermann Glacier calved an iceberg twice the size of Manhattan in 2010. These massive ice islands drift south, threatening shipping and offshore oil platforms. The calving glaciers represent Greenland actively shedding ice into the ocean, directly raising sea levels with each iceberg released. Fact 16. Greenland sits on the North American tectonic plate. Despite being politically European through Denmark, Greenland sits on the North American tectonic plate. The island is geologically connected to Canada, sharing similar bedrock and geological history. Greenland separated from North America as the Atlantic Ocean opened, but remains on the same plate. The Davis Strait between Greenland and Canada is relatively shallow, revealing their geological connection. Greenland's eastern coast shows evidence of rifting from Europe as the Atlantic formed. The island exists as a geographic bridge between Europe and North America, belonging geologically to America, but culturally to Europe. This dual identity influences sovereignty disputes and territorial claims. Fact 15. Greenland's ice cores reveal 100,000 years of climate history. Scientists drill ice cores from Greenland's ice sheet to study ancient climate trapped in frozen layers. The deepest cores reach ice that fell as snow over 100,000 years ago. Each layer contains air bubbles preserving atmospheric composition from when the snow fell. The cores reveal temperature changes, volcanic eruptions, and even pollution from ancient Rome. Ice core data from Greenland provides the most detailed climate record in the Northern Hemisphere. The cores show that climate can change dramatically within decades, not just over millennia. Greenland's ice is a frozen archive of climate history that helps predict future changes. If you're shocked by these facts, hit subscribe. There's more coming. Fact 14. Meltwater lakes are appearing on Greenland's surface. During summer, thousands of bright blue meltwater lakes form on Greenland's ice sheet surface. These lakes absorb sunlight and accelerate melting beneath them. Some lakes drain suddenly through cracks, carrying water to the ice sheet base. The water lubricates the bedrock, allowing glaciers to slide faster toward the ocean. The lakes are appearing at higher elevations and earlier in the season as warming intensifies. In 2019, meltwater lakes appeared near Summit Station at the ice sheet's peak, indicating warming is reaching the coldest areas. The expanding lakes represent visible evidence of the ice sheet's instability and accelerating response to warming temperatures. Fact 13. Greenland controls access to Arctic resources. Greenland's geographic position gives it strategic control over access to Arctic resources and shipping routes. The island sits along potential Arctic shipping lanes that could revolutionize global trade. China has invested heavily in Greenland, seeking access to rare earth minerals and potential Arctic routes. The U.S. maintains Thule Air Base in northern Greenland, a strategic Cold War installation. Greenland's minerals, including rare earth elements essential for electronics, are becoming accessible as ice retreats. The island has become a geopolitical focal point as great powers compete for influence. Greenland's geography makes it strategically vital despite its tiny population and remote location. Fact 12. The ice sheet is revealing lost landscapes. As glaciers retreat, they're exposing landscapes that have been frozen for thousands of years. Plants, frozen in place when the ice advanced, are being revealed perfectly preserved. Some areas emerging from ice haven't been exposed for over 100,000 years. The retreating ice reveals ancient hunting camps, Viking artifacts, and even a perfectly preserved World War II aircraft. The ice is melting so fast that archaeologists rush to document sites before erosion destroys them. Greenland is revealing its own history as the ice that buried it melts away. The island is transforming into an archaeological treasure trove as its frozen past emerges into the present. Fact 11. Greenland's fresh water is disrupting ocean currents. The massive freshwater input from melting Greenland ice is reducing salinity in the North Atlantic. Freshwater is less dense than saltwater and doesn't sink as readily. This disrupts the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation that moderates European climate. The current brings warm water north, keeping Europe warmer than its latitude suggests. Disruption of this current could paradoxically cool Europe as Greenland melts. Scientists monitor ocean salinity carefully for signs of current slowdown. Greenland's melting has global consequences far beyond sea level rise, potentially altering weather patterns across continents. Fact 10. Greenland has midnight sun and polar night. North of the Arctic Circle, the sun doesn't set for months during summer. In northern Greenland, the sun stays above the horizon continuously from April to August. Conversely, polar night brings months of darkness during winter when the sun never rises. The extreme light cycles affect everything from plant growth to human psychology. Traditional Inuit culture adapted to these cycles with seasonal migration patterns. Modern settlements use artificial light extensively during the dark months. The midnight sun and polar night define the rhythm of life in Greenland, creating a unique geography where normal day-night cycles disappear for months. Fact 9. Greenland's bedrock is below sea level in many areas. Beneath the ice sheet, much of Greenland's bedrock lies below sea level due to ice weight compression. If the ice melted, the bedrock would slowly rebound over thousands of years. During the initial melting, some areas would be below sea level, creating bays and channels. The ice-free Greenland would be an archipelago of islands, rather than a single landmass. The bedrock depression means that warm ocean water can reach glacier bases, accelerating melting from below. The underwater portions of glaciers are particularly vulnerable to melting as ocean temperatures rise. Greenland's hidden topography beneath the ice influences how quickly the ice sheet will collapse. Fact 8. Rare earth minerals are hidden beneath the ice. Greenland contains significant deposits of rare earth elements essential for modern electronics. These minerals, crucial for smartphones, electric vehicles, and renewable energy, are concentrated in few locations globally. China currently dominates rare earth production, making Greenland's deposits strategically important. The Kvanefjeld deposit near Narsak contains uranium, zinc, and rare earths. Mining operations face opposition from fishing communities concerned about environmental impacts. As ice retreats, more mineral deposits are becoming accessible for exploration. Greenland is transforming from a frozen wasteland into a resource frontier as melting ice reveals valuable minerals. Fact 7. Greenland's climate affects weather in North America. The cold air mass over Greenland's ice sheet influences weather patterns across North America. The ice sheet creates a semi-permanent high-pressure zone that deflects storm tracks. Changes in Greenland's ice affect the jet stream's behavior over North America. The ice sheet's melting is linked to extreme weather events, including polar vortex intrusions. Greenland acts as a massive climate anchor whose removal destabilizes atmospheric circulation. Weather events in the United States and Canada are increasingly influenced by Greenland's changing ice sheet. The island's climate reaches far beyond its shores, affecting weather thousands of miles away. Fact 6. Viking settlements vanished during the Little Ice Age. Norse settlers established thriving colonies in Greenland starting around 985 CE. The colonies supported thousands of people who farmed, raised livestock, and traded with Europe. During the Little Ice Age, beginning around 1300, temperatures dropped and sea ice expanded. The cooling climate made farming impossible and cut off trade routes with Iceland and Norway. By 1450, the Norse colonies had vanished, their inhabitants either dying or abandoning the settlements. Archaeological evidence shows the colonists struggled with malnutrition before disappearing. The vanished colonies demonstrate Greenland's climate sensitivity and the consequences when conditions shift. Modern warming is returning Greenland to temperatures that existed when Vikings successfully farmed there. Fact 5. Greenland has active hot springs, despite being frozen. Hot springs exist in several locations in Greenland, creating surreal contrasts with surrounding ice. The springs result from geothermal heat, warming underground water that emerges at the surface. Near Uunartok, hot springs reach temperatures comfortable for bathing year-round. The geothermal activity indicates Greenland sits above areas of crustal heat flow. Some scientists suggest increased geothermal heat beneath parts of the ice sheet may contribute to basal melting. The hot springs provide natural heating for nearby settlements. Greenland's combination of ice sheet and hot springs represents an extreme geographic contradiction. Fact 4. The ice sheet creates its own weather. Greenland's ice sheet is so massive, it generates its own microclimate and weather patterns. Cold air drains off the ice sheet, creating fierce, katabatic winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. These winds are powerful enough to flip aircraft and create hazardous conditions along the coast. The ice sheet's elevation forces air upward, creating clouds and precipitation. The white surface reflects solar radiation, cooling the air above it. The ice sheet's influence extends hundreds of miles, affecting weather across the North Atlantic. Greenland essentially functions as a frozen mountain range that dominates regional climate. Fact 3. Greenland was once covered by tropical forest. 50 million years ago, Greenland was positioned farther south and covered in palm trees and crocodile-inhabited swamps. Fossils reveal that redwood forests once grew where ice now dominates. The Arctic was ice-free and supported lush vegetation during this warm period. Tectonic drift moved Greenland northward to its current polar position. Ice sheets only formed in Greenland around 2.5 million years ago during global cooling. The island's transformation from tropical paradise to frozen wasteland demonstrates Earth's dramatic climate changes over geological time. Greenland's rocks preserve evidence of multiple climates spanning millions of years. Fact 2. Melting Greenland is making days longer. The redistribution of mass as Greenland's ice melts affects Earth's rotation speed. Moving mass from poles toward equator slightly slows Earth's rotation, lengthening days. The effect is minuscule, microseconds per century, but measurable with atomic clocks. The melting ice shifts Earth's center of mass, affecting the planet's moment of inertia. Similar effects occur from large earthquakes that redistribute crustal mass. Greenland's ice loss is literally changing how fast Earth spins. The island's melting has planetary-scale effects that extend beyond climate to affect Earth's basic physical properties. Fact 1. Greenland's fate determines humanity's coastal future. The future of Greenland's ice sheet will determine which coastal cities survive the 21st century. If the ice sheet collapses, hundreds of millions of people will be displaced from coastal areas. The tipping point beyond which collapse becomes inevitable may have already been crossed. Even if emissions stop today, committed warming will continue melting ice for decades. Greenland's ice sheet represents the largest single source of potential sea level rise outside Antarctica. The decisions made in the next decade about emissions will determine if Greenland's ice survives or melts. Every coastal city's future depends on what happens to Greenland's ice. The island exists as a frozen reservoir whose release threatens civilization's coastlines. Greenland quietly holds more power over humanity's future than any nation, army, or technology. Its ice sheet is a geographic time bomb whose detonation would reshape every coastline on Earth and displace more people than all wars in history combined. Which Greenland fact shocked you most? Drop a comment and subscribe for more.